Hi, this is Rudy Carrasco from Partners Worldwide with a short video update about what's happening here in the United States. I have a few notes that I'm going to be referencing just to keep it tight. I would love to give you the 2-hour version on the phone or in person, but some great things are happening here. First, I want you to know with Partners Worldwide in the United States, when we think about poverty, high unemployment, and the needs, there's a few numbers we're aware of. Between the federal government and United Way statistics, there are 100 million people in the country who are either below poverty or near poverty, just above it. What we think about as the working poor. There's 100 million people in a country of 320 million plus who are struggling and are looking for opportunities and who often turn to entrepreneurship, a side business, doing something on the side to bring in a few more dollars. That's what we've seen in the 50 states all around the country, that there are people who are in challenging circumstances who nevertheless are trying to do something to take care of themselves and even change their situation. So that's a little bit of what we're dealing with in the United States. And I want to report to you, so grateful to you, our friends who are supporting Partners Worldwide and what we're doing here. The stories that we share from our network are an encouragement to people who are in challenging circumstances and want to know, can business make a difference in what we're doing? One thing that I share as I go around the country is the impacts, what's happening with the local partners and the businesses they're working with. Well, we do a count every summer, and when we did our count this year, we have 778 jobs represented in our network. That's 156 jobs created and 622 jobs that were sustained, that existed last year and are continuing this year. We have 578 businesses in our network. So you see, a lot of the businesses are small, kind of a side business, again, where somebody's trying to supplement their income. But increasingly, we're seeing people take the step to go full-time in business and add a few employees. We have 78 people who are in a mentoring or coaching capacity, walking alongside businesses. We had 415 people complete business training through our 6 local partners who are in Chicago, New Orleans, Chattanooga, Grand Rapids, and in Texas. And finally, we asked these businesses to self-report their sales. So this is inexact, and not all the businesses reported, but of all the businesses in our network, they reported $10.1 million in sales in the past year. So that's just a little bit of a glimpse of what we're working with our partners and the businesses in their networks. I want to share with you that we recently had our North America Partnership Summit, and we had people coming in from Baltimore, Cincinnati, Seattle, Milwaukee, as well as our partner cities, Chicago, Chattanooga. And we had a great time of peers learning from one another, listening to what they're doing in their own cities to support entrepreneurs and address poverty. One of the highlights was a business that's local here in Grand Rapids called Daddy Pete's Barbecue. Corey and Tara Davis, a married couple who are the co-owners, and they're in their 4th year of operation. They passed $250,000 in annual sales. They are growing like crazy. And they're a beautiful couple. They're local heroes who want to have a business that is not only profitable and meets needs and supports their employees, but is also an inspiration in the community. So they got up and they shared their story with the people in the audience, and it was a great moment. I wish you all could have been there. One of the challenges that we're facing in the U.S. is, so we've reached a certain threshold here in the United States. Some of you who have been with Partners Worldwide for a while know that we started about 5 or 6 years ago, again in the United States, to see how we could develop these partnerships. And what's happened is, as we showcase our partners, as we share what Spring GR and Restorers are doing in Grand Rapids, what Launch is doing in Tennessee, what St. Rock CDC is doing in New Orleans, what Sunshine Gospel Ministries is doing in Chicago, what Center for Peace is doing in Texas. As we share these stories that we indeed can come together as business people to grow businesses in tough places, people are getting inspired. And in fact, the question has changed. People used to say, can you really do that? Can you really build businesses in these areas? Now the questions are changing. People are saying, I see it. Can you do that in my city? So it's a very interesting moment for us because it would be difficult to say yes to everybody that comes forward wanting a partnership because of our own capacity. We want to serve with excellence. We want to be thoughtful. We want to do things well. So what do you do when you have all these sort of queries now where people are pretty intent? They see what's happening. They want to do something. So that's sort of our challenge right now. And what I'm doing with our team is I'm saying, look, yes, we need to be sustainable. We need to do things well. We need to understand our limitations. We need to count the cost. At the same time, I don't think we should turn away people from across the country just because they're kind of isolated or they're not involved in a partnership. So we need to figure out a way to come around people, support them, encourage them in a real way, while at the same time, being able to do what we've committed to. So I invite you to be creative with us. I got to tell you, you should be at my desk some days. I get calls from Southeast Kentucky, from the Ohio River Valley, from across the West, fascinating places in our country with people who love Christ, love businesses, and they want to help their neighbors. So I invite you, come sit at my desk one of these days and we can take the emails and the calls together. I just kind of want to leave you with that. I love our team. I love you as our supporters who have hearts for the poor and believe that, people have capacity. People can do things. People's lives can be turned around. Can we help to strengthen them? Can we help them to develop the skills, build a network, build a business? And so, just again, thank you for your support. Please keep an eye out for more communication about what's happening. And I'd love to hear from you on email, phone call, and let's talk about what's going on in your city. Thanks.